Hello, everybody. In this video, I'm going to be talking about simulated problems, and I want to discover why I think humans like to basically simulate problems um, uh, when we actually have like real problems that we face in as humans, right, in life. Um, so this comes to mind because I had this class on basically like how people like on riddles and puzzles, right? Like different puzzles and riddles that I was like talking about in class, and they were pretty interesting. Like the trolley problem. There's this very nice one with two sets of ones, two sets of twos, and two sets of threes, and you gotta connect them. There's the two brothers, two paths problem, where one brother is lying, one brother is telling the truth, and you can only ask one question. Um, and yeah, there's like all of these like life riddles, life puzzling questions. Like what is life? Where are we? Who are we? Where are we headed? What is life's purpose? But then you have like all of these other like games and situations and hobbies that people will take up willingly and voluntarily, deliberately, and they enjoy it, right? I'm talking about things such as like getting together with your friends on the weekend to play sports, right? And compete like soccer, basketball, baseball, whatever, right? Maybe you like to solve puzzles, right? So you'll buy a puzzle and you'll try to solve it, crosswords. There's this game too where it's like the that goes up to nine, I think, Ozuku or something like that. Video games are a big one. Any type of competitive sports. And I'm not saying that you do this professionally. On the contrary, I'm saying these are things that you would do as a hobby for fun, right? But notice, like, for example, how when people play video games, they'll get stressed out, they'll yell. When people watch like other people play soccer, they'll also get stressed out and yell, right? And it's funny because uh, when you get that in life, like when you're at work, school, whatever, everyday situations, you get stressed out. You have problems to deal with, problems to solve. So why would you go looking for more problems, right? Why would you be, competing, trying to figure out a puzzle, trying to figure out a crossword, trying to play video games? Why would you do that for fun? Shouldn't you be like resting? And it could be related with the incubation process, which I have a video on that if you want to check that out. But it's basically the time, well, we would call it downtime, right? Where you're doing like focused activities like, trying to figure out problems, real life problems at work or at home, in your personal life or professional life. And then when you do these hobbies, you kind of break away from that in a certain way, and you feel, you still get stressed out. That's the emphasis I'm making in this video, but you're not doing the same thing, right? You're changing from one stressful situation to another stressful situation, right? And that allows time for the incubation process, which is like, trying to figure out your real life problems by doing other things. And those other things could be relaxing, but they could also be engaging in stressful activities or problematic simulated situations, such as video games, sports, right, with friends. So there are a couple factors that I want to consider as to why these simulated problems are basically done by humans. Why do we like to do these hobbies, sports, games, right? The first one is because there is no real consequence if you fail or you lose, right? So let's say you're playing with friends on the weekend, basketball, whatever, and you lose, your team loses the game. There's no real consequence. Nothing really happens. You don't lose money. You don't lose an arm. You don't lose anything, right? And then I asked ChatGPT, and it said that like you feel safe because you're in controlled environment, so you know what to expect. Everything is predictable. So it's not like real life where situations and results are unpredictable. You don't know how the other person's gonna respond, or the likelihood of the other person, of predicting the other person's response is very low. Contrasting that with like getting together with a bunch of friends that you already know, right? You explore identity. I found that to be kind of interesting, which means that you get to know more about yourself in these type of situations. I also think a very good thing to do is like discuss hypothetical situations with the people in your life. You know, like what would you do if, what would you do if all of a sudden I started, if I did this or I did that, or what would you do if this happened, right? And just think of those hypothetical scenarios to kind of bring to light more of your identity, your personality, and who you are, right? So these type of simulated problems also bring out, like if you think you're a good person, but then you're playing a game and you're kind of cheating or you're kind of being sleazy, you get to see that other part of that person and you kind of say like, oh, I didn't know you had that part in you, right? Kind of interesting. There's the satisfaction of discovery, and this is because you're learning ultimately. Like let's say you've been doing something for so long, right? Like a hobby that doesn't really count. It's like exploring new hobbies. Like, okay, I'm going to take up drawing, and I guess that's also related to exploring more about yourself, learning more about yourself, but also the satisfaction of discovery, right? Of getting out there. It's like when you discover new places, or not really discover, but you go to new areas of the city, to new cities, to different, and you discover, there's a satisfaction. There's a human satisfaction to discovery. All of these things could be more profoundly or deeper, or they can be analyzed in a deeper sense, right? But here I'm just gonna like go through them. Repetitive learning, such as with a sport like soccer. So repetitive learning, and I heard this from Lex Friedman, and I heard it somewhere else too, and I wanted to share it. There is a wisdom in repetition, in repeating things, because people think that, oh, same old thing, and it's like, no, if you repeat something enough times, you can actually modify it. You actually learn more things about it. It's like going to school. Why are we seeing mathematics, or why are we seeing these topics so many times repetitively? But it's like the elephant. You start to see different areas of that thing, different schemas, different concepts. You start to integrate those into your understanding of a certain thing. So yeah, repetitive learning is also huge there. You look for reward. So there is a reward. There's an intrinsic motivation more than anything, because all of these hobbies, you're not doing them for money or for prestige or something like that. Well, you maybe for prestige, like among your friends or something, but you're not getting like rewarded like extrinsically, right? You're not getting a car or money. So it's just like intrinsic motivation. It's like an internal motivation. You're genuinely doing it for yourself, and I guess that's like the big difference between real life problems, which have like a real life consequences, and they need external motivation. Like if you don't do it, you're going to jail, you won't have money, whatever. And then intrinsic motivation influences all of these simulated problems, right? Where you're actually doing it for fun because you enjoy to do it, right? You also achieve what is known as the flow state, and you exercise. You exercise your mental, your physical capacities. You learn from your environment, and the flow state is that like you're in the zone state, which you can achieve with real life problems, but they're more dangerous because they're riskier and they have real life consequences. And with intrinsic motivation or simulated problems, you can achieve them, and if you fail, like I already mentioned, then nothing really bad happens. There's also an element of social bonding, so you connect with other people, right? Especially if they're hobbies that need you to be around other people, right? There's that social bonding element, and I found this one to be interesting. But there is you create order out of chaos, right? Where like if everything, like look at a puzzle, you buy a puzzle, 1,000 pieces, 5,000 pieces, whatever, and it's all chaotic, and then you're gonna give it order, right? You're gonna put all of those pieces in order, or yeah, just you do that with anything, right? You create order out of chaos, and I think that's also like a human satisfaction, or I don't want to say need, but that's something that humans get a big deal of satisfaction from. And all of this could be related with excellency and mastery, which ultimately is what you want to do. You want to get good at something, right? Even if you enjoy it, eventually through the repetition of doing that which you like, you'll eventually get good at it. You'll reach an excellency level or a mastery level. So here I want to read 3 quotes which I found to be interesting. The first one is, you enjoy what you do. Why else would you work so hard? So this is for people that are like great achievers, right? And it's like, why do you work so hard? Well, because you enjoy it, right? The second one is, the harder I work, the luckier I get. This is from a golfer. And I think he was asked like, why are you so lucky? And he's like, I don't know, it's something, it's a curious thing, but the harder I work, the luckier I get. So, this is like, and it gives, that's food for thought, because it gets you thinking about what luck really is. People will think, well, luck is just destiny. It's, an external thing. It doesn't depend on you. But, the harder I work, the luckier I get somehow, right? Kind of interesting. Even though I still think luck is an external thing, it comes from other factors, right? And the gift, like people that say are gifted or talented, the gift is that they don't mind spending hours practicing, right? I found that one to be very interesting also. I don't want to be an advocate, sorry, for hard work, because I actually don't. I'm starting not to really believe in that, right? Hard work doesn't get you good things. I think that's more of like a capitalist marketing technique of just, be a slave and work, because you really don't achieve great things by working. But I did find the quote to be interesting. The gift that those people have that are gifted is that they don't mind spending hours practicing, which again relates to you enjoy what you do, or why else would you work so hard, right? So yeah, that's all I got for this video. Let me know what you think about simulated problems, and I'll see you in the next one, all right? Peace.